Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another standard gameplay video, this time featuring a black, white or Dimir crime deck. A few weeks ago we did play a mono black crime deck, so I've done another one with Dimir to see how this one fares. So what do we get by adding blue? The main one really is Intimidation campaign. This is a 3 mana card for 1, a blue and a black. And it says when it ETBs, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain a life and you draw a card. And then whenever you commit a crime, you may return it to its owner's hand. So this is a repeatable way to draw a card, which is always powerful, and then to ping the opponent and to gain a life. It can be quite slow, so not all, if you have it in your hand, you don't always want to be able to play it on turn 3. But in the later game, when you have a lot more mana, you can play it, commit a crime, and then bring it back and do that again. We also have Autry, 4 mana for 2, a blue and a black. It has flash, it's a 3/2, when it ETBs, you choose one. Either counter a spell, activate ability, or triggered ability. So basically a counter spell and a stifle, and its controller draws a card. Or you can destroy another target creature or planeswalker, its controller draws a card. It's a great counter spell and destruction, and because it's got flash, you can play it on your opponent's turn, obviously. And if you choose that destroy other creature mode, that counts as committing a crime for our crime payoffs. We also have Siphon Insight, a blue and a black instant. You look at the top 2 cards of target opponent's library, exile one of them, and put the other on the bottom of that library. You may play the exile card as long as it remains exiled. You may spend mana as vary with mana of any colour to cast that spell. So because it's an instant, it's another way to cast a crime during your opponent's turn, which is good for our crime payoffs. It's a great way to, one, get rid of a couple of cards in the library, but also potentially hit a land drop. Doesn't really matter if it's not in our colours. It's always useful. It also has flashback for 3, so we can play it from the graveyard. And then we also have Dream Shackle Geist, which is one of the MVPs really. It's a 3 mana blue card, 3/1 flying. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to 1, tap target creature, or target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next time tap step. So 1, this is great way of getting rid of a blocker or keeping a creature tapped down, but also it's repeatable crime, which is a great way to trigger our crime payoffs, and it's also not free, but every turn that it's on the battlefield, you will be getting a free crime trigger. And now we do have some other cards as well that we didn't put in our mono black decks we have now. Just say we have taken out Careback the Punisher, which is a 3 mana card that says when you commit a crime, you may play a black card from your graveyard and you lose 2 life. I took it out because I think it's a bit slow. It's 3 mana, so even if you can get it down and you've got, say, a spare mana for a cut down or something, you're not going to have any spare mana to cast whatever in your graveyard. It's only really useful in the extreme endgame when you have a lot of spare mana. And because it costs 2 life every go, the meta at the moment's really quick, especially with mono red and a lot of other aggro decks. You don't necessarily want to be paying 2 life every turn or every few turns. So I took that out. But we do have kept in Vadmir, which is a great crime payoff as it grows, and when it gets 4 or more +1/+1 counters, which in theory can happen 2 turns after it comes down, it gets Menace and Lifelink, which is a great way to stabilise if you're behind. So the cards that we've added in, 2 copies of Tinybones joins up. This is a really powerful card. When it ETBs, any number of target players each discard a card, so you can choose yourself, but I don't know why you would want to. But then it has whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, any number of target players mill a card and lose 1 life. And this is the powerful mode where if you have it down, let's say you play this on turn 1, then on turn 2 you play Vadmir. Because Vadmir is a legendary creature, it will ETB, calls in a target player to mill and lose a card, which will trigger the crime, and you'll have a 3/3 on turn 2. And because a lot of our cards are legendary, this is a great way to trigger Vadmir as well. And even with Autry, you're going to target something generally anyway, but if you just flash in Autry, you'll get a trigger from Tinybones. We also have actual Tinybones as Pickpocket, a 1/1 with Death Touch, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target non-land permanent card from that player's graveyard, and mana of any type can be spent to cast a spell. We've only got 1 copy. This is more of a kind of like an extra blocker. It can kill anything, which is really powerful, and often they don't block because it's got Death Touch, and then you can get some more value, and it is a crime enabler as well. We also added in Graveyard Trespasser, a very powerful card, 3 mana, 3/3, which has walled discard a card, and whenever it ETBs or attacks, you exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Again, a crime enabler. If a creature card was exiled this way, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And if it turns to nighttime, it's a 4/4 now, and you do 2 cards. And then the last card that we didn't have before was Gisa the Hellraiser. This is the finisher of the deck, really. It's a 5 mana 4/4 with ward 2 and pay 2 life. So quite a troublesome ward. Not hard to pay, but it will impact your opponent. Skeletons and zombies you control get +1/+1 and have menace. And then whenever you commit a crime, create 2 tapped 2/2 blue and black zombie rogue creature tokens. Only triggers once each turn. So that'll be 3/3s when Gisa is on the battlefield. And what is a great, if you've got Tinybones joins up, it's a great way to just play Gisa, and you're going to get that trigger straight away. So you're going to get 2 zombie tokens. And then if you cut down or go for the throat or whatever in your opponent's turn, you'll get 2 more. So by your next turn, you'll have basically 4 3/3 zombies with menace, so which is very powerful. Mana base pretty standard: 4 islands, 2 Otawaras, 8 swamps, a Takanuma, Shipwreck Marsh, Underground River, and then 2 Field of Ruins. Again, just good to take out annoying creature lands or other non-basic lands, but also a way to commit a crime in either turn, but in your opponent's turn generally, without them having any creatures on the battlefield, was a great way to trigger Gisa and Vadmir and maybe Intimidation campaign again. So that's the deck. Before we get into gameplay, I would just like to say that looking at the stats, 97.3% of viewers aren't subscribed. So if you are watching and not subscribed, please hit that like and subscribe button. It does wonders for the channel, especially as a new channel that is still growing. So I encourage everyone to just do that. We have a okay hand. Tinybones is a good turn 1 play. And then we can Vadmir or maybe cut down something depending on what they play. It's unlikely they'll have anything in the graveyard straight away. Rakdos. I'll play Vadmir. Let's see if it survives. So maybe another crime deck as well. Lord Skitter's a good draw. I'm guessing they've got to play with fire. Yeah. That's a shame. I probably should have waited, and then if they cut down, I could have cut down in response, growing the Vadmir out of cut down range. We'll keep their Forsaken Miner tap down and keep up cut down. They've got a Plaza of Heroes, maybe protect some of their legendary creatures. So we're going to take it, so might as well get rid of it. We'll tap down the Sewer King. Sure, let's get a miner. I'm going to destroy their piles of heroes while they're all tapped out, and then we'll get a swamp, and then we can siphon insight. At the end of their turn, see what we hit. As another crime deck, maybe we might hit a crime payoff. Let's see what we hit with Siphon Insight. Magda's pretty good. And so is Vadim. Let's swing in. And we'll Siphon Insight on their turn, hopefully growing the Vadim. Well. Let's fire it off now, see what we hit. I will happily take another Vadim. I'm not sure why they played that duress. Yeah, they're keeping Lord Skidder back. And I will keep up Siphon Insight. And I'm going to keep Tinybones back. Let's see what we hit. Another land. This will trigger Vladimir now. And then we can go for the throat of Lord Skidder on their turn. Doesn't mean mana will get a swamp. Probably should have swung in with Tinybones. I doubt they would block with their Lord Skidder. That's not what we wanted, really. I'm going to swing in with Tinybones. We might be able to get their Lord Skidder. We can. Yeah. They really should have blocked Tinybones there. But then next turn we would have grown Vadmir even more. And then we could have even sacrificed our treasures to create a 4/4 Scorpion Dragon. That was a good result for us. Let's move on. Well, we have removal, and we can get into their Decklist Siphon Insight, and Lord Skidder can help when we find our crime enablers, or crime payoff, sorry. We'll take the land. I'm not that bothered about the Heartstabber yet. Maybe I should have been. We can cut down the Atrata and then Siphon Inside again. Or maybe go for the Throat. Maybe they've got a counter. Nope. I'm intrigued what the card they've... whatever they take, I will be able to remove the bat. I mean, we're about to get it straight back. Another Siphon Insight's okay. Would quite like some of our crime payoffs. The Gisa would be really good. Well, I think we're going to have to go for the throat that. Let's see what else we can take from the top of our library. Well, sure. Still no... I'm going to keep that in hand because I can bounce my face down card. Just the land. Not really worth it. Well, let's Bloodline Culling. Yeah, let's get down the Trespasser. And then we can Bloodline Culling the Massacre Girl. Still looking for those payoffs. Fine. Should have killed it then. Let's do this now then. I'm going to do this now just to see if we hit a playable. They're going to be able to do their virtual persistence soon. Well, there is a payoff. Fair removal, we can remove the Deep Cavern Bat. So at least we get a couple of zombies. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Question is, what did I get back? Well, that's annoying. So I'm going to counter that. They do draw a card. So I could have countered the Virtue. The Virtue trigger. So we have 11, they can block 5. So unless they've got a removal spell, this should be lethal. There we go. That was pointless, wasn't it? A very tight game and a very fun game ruined by a sore loser essentially. So let's move on. We have a pretty slow hand, but I think as a keeper we can siphon insight on turn 2 or go for the throat and hopefully we draw into our payoffs such as Dimir or Intimidation Campaign or Gisa. We might be up against the Nissa land deck, so go for the throat's going to be very useful. And even Graveyard Trespasser being able to exile lands. There's Gisa, that's a good draw. We will keep Siphon Insight up and see what we can hit. We do need another land for Autry. I'm not sure it's an Issa deck. They don't need to pick up the Beanstalk because there's not many 5 or more mana cards. They're not doing anything. Short of the Beanstalk. We can play Tinybones. And yeah, let's pay up the Beanstalk. If we don't draw the land... Well, yeah, there is Nissa. I think we'll definitely be taking that out. And there's the Analyst. So we've got the land. I'm going to see if they block with anything. I don't think they will. But while they are tapped out... Oh, they do. Maybe they thought they had the mana to sacrifice it. Clearly they've got another one. And we'll take out the Analyst now before they get a bit of chance to sacrifice it and get all their lands back. And if they play... I'm guessing they got another Nissa. So I think we'll get down the Trespasser and we will take out the Cabaret Courtyard. A land would be Awaken the Woods, not seen that in a long time. Yeah, I think we untap land to get out the Gisa. Well, we'll play another Trespasser, take out the Cabaret Courtyard, and again we'll swing in and take out the other Courtyard. Obviously they can triple block. They can play the Virtue, which they're not going to. which means I think on my turn I keep up Autry. Well, they can still play it. I'm guessing they're playing the Virtue, so they... Fair enough. We find the land. I think we've just got to take out the analyst before they can sacrifice it. They are going to be able to get out the Virtue. Which just gives them all the mana, and they can probably kill us with a World Soul's Rage. Yep. They do draw 2. But that is their turn done. Ooh, I could bounce the Virtue. Let's swing in. If we hit a land off this, we can still play the Otawara. Should have put a stop on their upkeep and bounced it then. Thing is, they could already kill us with World Soul's Rage. If they've got it. So if they do, they're taking a while. So they'll be able to sacrifice it straight away anyway. That's probably a little bit too much, too late. I should have put a stop on their upkeep and bounced it then. But they are quite far ahead, obviously. Yeah, this game's just done. Yeah, I should have bounced their Virtue earlier, either at the end of my turn or beginning of on their upkeep. But I hate the Nissa deck. It is, I think, just stupid. And I think the Aftermath Analyst should be only be able to sacrifice it at sorcery speed. It just makes it too powerful, being able to do it in response to anything. So, but yeah, let's move on. Well, we can siphon insight, then maybe get down an Intimidation campaign, or Lord Skidder. I'm going to do it now while they've only got 1 blue mana. Well, we've taken out 2 of their go for the throats. Well, we can take out Ledger Shredder. I'm going to play Lord's Get Up. Let's see if it survives. But if it does, then we can play Vadmir and trigger Vadmir straight away. And then go for the Ledger Shredder on their turn. Depends what other removal they play. Quite a lot of it by the looks of it. Since we have taken out 2 of their go for the throats. And there's one of our go for the throats. Let's swing in with our rat. And let's play Vadmir. We'll keep up go for the throat. It does mean if they try and cut down Vadmir, we can grow it out of the range. But obviously we've seen they have a lot of other removal as well. Get it out of the hand. The only thing left is Intimidation campaign. Steam Core Scholar. Draw 2, discard 2 unless you discard an instant or sorcery or a creature with flying. They discard 2 lands. Get down the Trespasser. Get rid of Ledger Shredder. Grow the Vadmir. And swing in a 5th land for Gisa. Would be very good. I'm not sure why they've got us. There's a stick. They've got no open mana. Not sure what happened there. They're thinking about something. The Scholar's got Vigilance, so there's no reason not to do that. Yeah, let's just go for the throat, the Sheoldred. And we will take the Sheoldred immediately. Still looking for that 5th land. Maybe we can siphon insight to find it. Prof's Eidetic Memory. Low maximum hand size. Draw a card. Oh, you put counters on a creature if you've drawn more than 1 card a turn. So they're going to bump something up. They're going to put a +1/+1 counter on something. Okay, just want to take the thing that I can play. Thing is, Vadmir is about to get Menace and Lifelink. Not sure why this is taking that long. Put it on the lifelinker. Or have they just... Is this a rope? Oh no, there we go. They got there in the end. Oh, we hit the final land. Let's get rid of our own Lord Skidder, just ping him for 1. Obviously that didn't trigger back Vadmir though, but it's not the end of the world. They're back up to 3. Back up to 5, but that should be game over. Yeah. Slight misplay. I exiled a creature from my own graveyard, a ping for 1. If I did it from their graveyard, would have grown Vadmir, given him Menace, and got those 2 zombies. But in the end, it didn't matter. So a good result. We're on the draw, but this is an okay hand. We'll take some damage from Underground River. Question is, do we want to play a tap land first so we can, well, more tap land, so we can get down, we can siphon insight, or do we Tinybones? I'll give a tap land down so we can siphon insight on turn 2. Vadmir's a good draw, and then next turn we can get down Tinybones joins up, and then Vadmir. We're going to have to find removal because they're about to go big, I think. Yeah. We really need a removal spell. Although we're probably too far behind already. Yeah. We're dead already. We can make sure that Giada doesn't untap. But we've not drawn any removal, which is a massive issue. Yeah, no removal meant that was never... We were never going to win that. Having a cut down for Giada right at the start would have been, well, the best. But oh well, these things happen. This is a good hand. We are on the draw, and we are going to take one from Underground River playing Tinybones on turn 1. Or Tinybones joins up is a better play, because then we can play Vadim and immediately grow it. Discarded a wedding announcement. So an enchantment based deck. Our removal is going to be very useful. And the ability to outgrow their creatures. That is less useful. Oh, that they must have another one. But that's okay, because so do we. We'll keep up, go for the throat. What we can do, get down Tinybones. Just mill their Calyx. So what we'll do is they really have to double block. They don't. But we can just Dream Shackle Geist, tap down their Spiriting Companion, swing with Tinybones for that one remaining damage. So yeah, a nice quick match, but at least we got to actually play Magic instead of our opponent scooping as soon as they saw Deep Cavern Bat. Hello Magic fans, and welcome back to the wrap up. So we played 19 games with this deck, which is quite a lot. So a lot of the games were quite quick. You would have seen in the video a few were we played Deep Cavern Bat and they scooped, and there was another game where I mulliganed twice and didn't get black mana in any of my hands, so I had to concede straight away. So and we had a 52% win rate, which is obviously average, but whereas a lot of decks you seem to get a few on the run and then it goes downhill, this is kind of the opposite. We hovered under 50% quite a while, apart from after 2 matches, but then kind of climbed back up towards the end. Maybe I got a bit better at playing the deck. It does add a bit over the mono black one. I think Intimidation campaign itself is not worth playing. You know, even if you have it on curve on turn 3, it just doesn't do enough. Gain a life, draw a card, your opponent loses a life is not that impactful. Obviously, the card draw is great, but 3 mana for it, just for 1 card draw is, you're better off playing a Graveyard Trespasser then, or a Lord Skitter, or probably a huge amount of other cards. The Dream Geist was good. It's another auto crime essentially, because it commits a crime at the start of a combat, much like Lord Skitter and like Graveyard Trespasser, although that does have to attack. And Dream Geist also works if they've got nothing in their graveyard, which can happen, especially in the early game. Tinybones joins up, I think, was the best addition to the deck. Being able to play that, then play a legendary card like Vadmir and get a trigger straight away is very powerful. Having a 2 mana 3/3 essentially on turn 2 is great, and it puts out a range of cut down. And being able to play Gisa and getting that value straight away is also very powerful. I think the deck's quite weak just because the meta is so removal heavy, and I know that's kind of ironic seeing as this is a removal based deck, but you need something like Vadmir to stick around to kill your opponent. And quite often you play it and it just gets removed. You play it, just gets removed. Siphon Insight's good to get additional cards from your opponent as well. And Urtai's a great counterspell / destroy things, get them out of the way as well. But yeah, I think it's just, there's so much removal. It's a crapshoot whether you're going to basically be able to play or you're just going to go, oh, things have been removed. And it's a hard line it's a fine line to draw between crime enablers and crime payoffs. We only had essentially 2 lots of removal spells, but then a lot of other crime enablers, but only really 2.5 crime payoffs. Intimidation campaign, the payoff's not that great, and there's not many other crime payoffs we could have played. We could have played Kervac, but as I said in the opening, I think it's a bit too slow. Although when you do get value out of them, it is good. So that was a deck. I had a great time playing it. I hope you all enjoyed watching it, and if you did, please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.